First responders found the SUV submerged. They were there at the scene all day long. We brought you a live report there at 5 tonight. Police Chief Todd Bailey confirmed that a man's body was inside that vehicle when they pulled it out of the water.
I don't speculate at this point on anything other than we had a car that ran off of the road and wound up in the water. Preliminarily, I will say that it's possible that this was a medical issue, but obviously I can't conclude that.
Police in New Albany have not released the man's identity, and the investigation into the possible medical issue as the cause of that crash is ongoing. Right now, all new on the night team, the Ohio River is now on its way back down, but it's moving slowly, retreating through neighborhoods like West Louisville. WHAS11 night team's Clarice Shaley and photojournalist Aspen Hester saw flooding in the Shawnee neighborhood late today, where some backyards are still full of water.
Well, it's pretty scary. It just kind of happens so fast.
Pat Matheson's home off Fontaine Landing Court isn't normally riverfront property.
It was one other time there was a flood, but it never got this far up.
But after April flooding, the Ohio River has made it over 1,000 feet inland.
In a matter of a day or two, it just overtook the golf course. And then it started creeping up the hill to my backyard.
For the first time, Matheson had geese swimming in her backyard.
Still not used to this water being this tall.
She hasn't had any damage, but her neighbors weren't so lucky.
So my neighbor down in the cul-de-sac, he's got 2 feet of water in his basement.
Thursday, Metro Council member Donna Purvis holds a community meeting at the Shawnee Golf Course, where MSD comes to talk about flooding.
We're still responding to calls. We are still operating our flood pump stations.
Outside the window, the course looks like this, virtually unplayable.
The water has really come up, but I understand it is now beginning to recede. I haven't had a lot of complaints about anybody getting water in their homes.
As the water level goes down,
there will be plenty of trash and debris to go and get up.
Debris will have to be cleaned up by the neighborhood along the Ohio River. In the Shawnee neighborhood, Clarice Shaley, WHAS 11 night team on your side.
By the way, Louisville has 2 more days to go for you to drop off your tree debris only. We want to emphasize that it is tree debris, tree limbs only, for free. The 9 sites are open from 2 until 7, April 12th until April 12th, and they include Shawnee Park, Tom Sawyer Park, Fairdale Recycling Center. We've got the complete list for you at WHAS11.com. Well, you heard the thunder and you saw the heavy rain. Want to welcome in Chief Meteorologist Mallory Schnell joining me here on the night team. So a lot of us were saying, no way, not again. I can't believe we're getting more rain. Has it turned out to be any big deal, though, tonight, Mallory?
Right. We did have a few stronger storms with some gusty winds, even some hail as well, especially off to the north. But in terms of rainfall amounts, staying below an inch. And of course, that's key to make sure that those floodwaters continue to recede. If we do take a look at the Max HG radar this evening, we're still tracking some showers out there, but hardly any rumbles of thunder, it looks like, showing up on the radar. Just some lingering rain. This is a very strange system, the way it's moving in from the northwest and kind of swirling around here. But that's why it's going to linger through the overnight hours. Light rain chances remaining in the forecast through early tomorrow morning before we do dry out for the second half of your Friday and into the upcoming weekend. Now, in terms of storm reports, as I mentioned, we did have a few strong ones. We were tracking these earlier in our newscast. Bardstown reporting about a 1/4 inch size hail there. Also up in Henryville, a good hail signature. Some storm damage more so in Perry County and areas off to our west, where those storms were a little bit stronger before they marched eastward into the Kentuckiana viewing area. So your futurecast for the rest of tonight, we will continue to hold those rain chances. Once again, the system kind of swirling around an area of low pressure as we continue onward through tonight and early tomorrow. So the roads may be a little bit wet for your morning commute tomorrow. Temperatures will be in the 40s. And then unfortunately on the backside of this system, we're really not going to warm up all too much for your Friday. Clouds will gradually decrease, so we will see some afternoon sunshine. But take a look at temperatures tomorrow, just topping out in the 50s. So about 20 degrees cooler in some spots compared to today. We managed to make it up into the lower 70s in Louisville today. And of course, we're still watching the rivers, the Ohio especially, as it will take some time. Likely Sunday is when it does look like it will dip below flood stage. But take a look at this. It crested yesterday. We've already dropped 2 feet. So we're getting somewhere, and we'll really see that drop off more so Saturday and into Sunday. Same can be said for the lower gauge as well. But once again, heading into the weekend, we do have more sunshine returning. We'll talk about that weekend forecast and a warming trend for early next week coming up in our extended outlook in a few minutes.
Thank you, Mallory. All new tonight at 11 at the Muhammad Ali Center tonight. More than 300 people honoring the 2-year mark of the Old National Bank mass shooting. In attendance tonight, the governor and the mayor. Story Fest, created by Mary Ann Elliott. Her husband, Tommy, was among the 5 bank employees killed on April 10th, 2 years ago. Elliott wanting to change how people view grief.
To grieve fully is to love fully, and to love fully is to touch the divine. Grief exists only because love exists first. And in that ache, I want to publicly say that you have helped me carry that weight.
350 people in attendance tonight. Elliott created Story Fest to reward 6 nonprofits who told their stories in 5-minute segments tonight. The ACE Project, headed by Rose Smith, received $10,000. The other nonprofits got $8,000 each. Right now, we want to bring you an update on a tragedy in New York City. A community in mourning tonight following a helicopter crash into New York's Hudson River. It was a tourist helicopter carrying a family of 5, 3 children also on board for a sightseeing tour of the city, crashing this afternoon. Everyone died. Rescuers say it hit the water upside down. ABC's Rena Roy with how witnesses described the scene.
Tragedy in the water right off of New York City.
Be advised, you do have an aircraft down Holland Tunnel. Please keep your eyes open for anybody in the water.
Tonight, the wreckage of a helicopter that crashed in the Hudson River removed from the water. A family of tourists from Spain on board. Law enforcement says the family of 5, including 3 children aged 4, 5, and 11, were on a chopper tour of the city when it crashed just minutes after taking off. The rotor blade disconnected, spinning in the air before hitting the water. Everyone on board confirmed dead.
If your rotor system disintegrates, goes away, stops, blows up, or loses a blade, your whole ability to fly is 100% compromised at that point, and you're simply going to go down.
Witnesses watching in horror as the tragedy unfolded just before 3:30 in the afternoon.
It sounded like a sonic boom on my right. So I look up and literally I just see a helicopter splitting in 2 with the rotor flying off in the sky. It was going so fast and just went straight into the water.
Witnesses saw debris falling from the sky.
And I heard a loud snap or like a kind of sound barrier breaking sound, and I could see a helicopter falling on its side and splashing the water right next to that red barge over there.
Tour company New York Helicopters operating the flight. The CEO telling ABC News his staff has not stopped crying and they are all devastated by this deadly disaster. The FAA and NTSB will both be on scene conducting investigations into what exactly happened here with this crash. In Lower Manhattan, Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.